Hello, we are Spill the Noodles podcast. It is me, Jamie, and your other host, Ailish. How are we doing,
Hey,
Ailish?
we're doing great today. Pretty normal day for me. Ate some food, did some things.
Nice.
Um,
We love
how
doing
about
some
yourself?
things.
How you doing?
We're good. We have made a model today. We have built some Lego.
Oh,
And
the at right?
it was, yes. And then we built a Lego Dark Trooper helmet as well. Well, partially. It's not finished yet. But
That's okay. That
exactly,
still
it's fine.
counts.
Um, but for anyone who is just kind of tuning in to this one instead of episode 1, you will not know who Aquaman 2 is. But basically, we have given Ailish an adopted child called Aquaman 2, named after the wonderful Trish Paytas, his child Aquaman. So Ailish has absolutely wonderfully decided to adopt a new child and name it Aquaman 2. So,
We had to.
exactly, we definitely had to. So, Elish, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Aquaman 2, how
Yeah.
is he doing before we get anywhere?
Oh, he's doing great. He's really progressing. He's growing up. He doesn't have a phone yet, and he told me that he hated me and never wanted me to be his mother again. But all children go through that stage in life where they hate their parents. So we're okay. We're just going through it now when he's 8 to 10 years old.
When he's 8 to 10 years old, exactly. So, what I'm hearing here, right, is your little Aquaman 2 must be starting school soon.
He is. Yep, he is. He's having a wonderful time in school. Um, we recently had a conversation about what his favorite subject was, and
Mm.
his favorite subject, and I don't blame him for this at all, is recess because he hates thinking. And you know what? Me too, bud. I understand. I feel the
Fair.
pain. Um,
I respect that.
but obviously, recess isn't like a real subject. Um,
Well,
but it kind of got me thinking about my own favorite subject as a child besides recess, the obvious answer.
of course.
um Honestly, I was an art person, really loved art class. There
Valid.
was something just fun about that. What about you?
Honestly, I would go art as well because you can't be just kind of sitting down drawing some fancy little spirals and anime characters on a bit of paper. But if I if I had to choose something that wasn't art, honestly, I did like the computing aspect at some points. I wouldn't say
Oh,
all the time, but 100% some of the time. And I did because we had an option for some things at some point. Can't remember when. It was in secondary school, though. And we had a choice between web design, something else, and a couple other subjects. And I did web design, and I've got to admit that shit was pretty fucking fun.
so cool. We didn't have anything like that until high school. I think we might have had like a couple kind of tech classes, but otherwise, our school didn't really have anything too fun like that. I think, especially once we got past like the first couple years of school, the longest time I ever spent in the computer lab was when my teacher put me in timeout there.
Ooh,
In
what did you
sixth
do?
grade, I spoke English. I went to a French immersion school, and so unless it was lunchtime or recess, we had to speak in French. And this was sixth grade, so I was 12, 11, 12. And he put me in timeout because I said something in English.
How dare you speak in English?
How dare I? I couldn't remember the word, but you know what? I should have just not said anything. Should have left my sentence half finished.
Exactly. Why would you ever think about speaking in a language that is very popular around the world? That is very
I don't know.
ridiculous.
It's yeah, absolutely disgusting behavior on my part, and I deeply apologize to my teacher for ever offending him. Um, but
Well,
but yeah, I think I gotta agree with you. Once I like got to high school and we had those tech classes, we had I'm trying to remember what it was called now. It was some sort of digital design class, and there were two of them. So it was a 3D modeling one, which I was forbade from doing. But then there was another one where we got to use programs like Photoshop and stuff. That
yeah.
was so fun. Oh my god, had such a great time in that.
Uh, Honestly, see doing it, and then I would never do such a thing for if any of my teachers are watching. But see when they'd leave the room or like just didn't look, so you had the extra tab open on Photoshop, and then you start making like a monkey wearing shorts or something. It
Yes,
was
yes,
so
yes.
satisfying. It's
Yeah.
like, here, I want you to make a amazing graphic design brochure. Explain the school in as many words as possible with as much detail as you can. And I was like, yeah, sure. Jamie, why is this taking you 4 days to make this? It was a 30-minute project. What's this monkey saved on your desktop as well?
Nothing. Yeah, yeah. We I don't remember if we ever had to do brochures or anything, but our teacher was pretty cool for that class. They got us to kind of like help us expand our knowledge and abilities in Word. They got us to make dinosaurs in Word out of
Sick.
like all of the objects and images that you could put on your Word document. That was fun. That was a good class.
Okay,
My dinosaurs were really cool.
I'm going off topic again,
Okay.
off script, but what is your favorite dinosaur?
Okay. I I kind of I have two, and I don't ever remember, like for the life of me, cannot ever remember the name of the one that I love the most. But the other one is obviously a pterodactyl, and that is
Fair.
specifically because of Gravity Falls and the fact that Zeus for the entire episode kept calling it a pterodactyl, and it just made me so happy, and it's stuck in my brain ever since. But the other one, and it's the one that I can never remember the name of, is the really long neck guy. Um,
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
uh,
People, our viewers are going to get so annoyed that we do not know this. Um,
I know.
but
I
yeah,
can
no,
never remember it. Hold
Gravity
on, we're
Falls,
searching it up right now. Long
good,
neck dinosaur, Brachiosaurus. That's the
nice.
name.
Mm,
Yeah.
Well, for all our wonderful viewers, I promise you, we were going to get the bottom of that for you. But um, yeah. Well,
Okay, your dinosaurs. You got to give them now as well. I need to know.
oh, okay. Well, see, pterodactyl wasn't on my list, and then you reminded me about Zeus saying pterodactyl, and now I want to put it there just for that reason. But
You have to. You have to. I'm not mad about it. Do it.
okay, well, that one. Or now you've got to bear with me. It's a long ass name. A Carcharodontosaurus.
Aw. Okay, hold on. Now I need to search this one up. I'm not like a crazy dinosaur nerd. I'm sorry, all of our viewers. Hold on. What was it called? Car.
Carcharodontosaurus.
Carcharodontosaurus. Okay, there it is. Ooh. Oh, they're kind of like T Rexes, but they have longer faces. Ooh, they look funny. Oh, that's so
Exactly. They're
cool.
like little T Rex raptors. It's sick.
I forgot there was another one, and I don't know if this counts or not.
Always.
Mostly because I can't remember if this is real or not. But again,
Good
I'm
start.
gonna
Good
get
start.
shit on if it is. I'm so sorry, but a Leopleurodon.
Leopard on Charlie.
Yes, a magical Leopleurodon. It's gonna guide our way to Candy Mountain. Yes,
uh, People just don't understand us.
they
Um,
don't, but that's okay.
exactly. Okay,
Because the ones
so
who know, and they're the real ones.
true, true. Y'all are the real ones. To be fair, anyone listening right now, you're the real ones. People who don't listen,
So
they're
true.
not. Um, but we're speaking about schools and stuff. And you said about like saying something to a friend in English. So, uh, what kind of in a such friend group were you in? Like, were
Oh,
were
yeah.
you in like the cool kids?
I hate to say it, for a while, I kind of was. Um, so I know our school system is set up differently from yours, and it's
Yeah,
also kind of set up differently from even different places in Canada and the States too. So for us, our first school, our elementary school, went from kindergarten all the way up to grade 8. And then we moved to high school for grade 9 to grade 12. All throughout elementary school, I was friends with every single one of the guys in my class, which wasn't a lot. I think there was maybe 9 of them by the time we were leaving elementary school. Um, but also by the time we were leaving elementary school, I had pretty much befriended every single person in my grade. Um, we were a small class. Don't get me wrong. I think my entire grade was 20, 28 to 28, something like that, 26, 28. Like we
yeah,
weren't a lot of people. But apart from like a couple of like the social outcasts, and like even then I was friendly with them. Uh, I was friends with pretty much everybody going into high school. Um, and we hit high school. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of over pretending all the time. I'm just gonna like hang out with a couple people that I've started talking to more recently because they're cool and they're fun, and I don't have to pretend to be whoever I want to be anymore around
exactly.
them. So we kind of went from being semi-popular. I don't know how popular I actually was, but we went from that to just kind of chilling. Um,
Just chilling.
yeah, I'd like to say that I was something like a floater. I went around through a few different friend groups. I was kind of friends with a bunch of people, but we were the nerds in like a big blanket term. We were the nerds.
Fair. The nerds are the
Okay, so
best, though.
so
To
what
be
about
fair.
you? The nerds are the best.
Okay, so like you say, our school system is so completely different. It shouldn't be allowed. Um, so the way we have it is we have primary school, so primary 1 to 7, and then you
Okay,
have secondary school, which is S1 to S6.
okay,
Because we're cool. We like to do a little bit different from everyone else. Um,
yeah,
like we're even different from like England and stuff because they do year like say 1 to 12 or
right,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So we're quite different in that aspect as well. Um, but yeah, no. So I, and again, in primary school, I was kind of friends with everyone. I didn't really have an issue with it. Anyone, we were all kind of
hmm,
friends. It was all a vibe. Just chill, play the DS when you were allowed to bring it into school. That type of vibe.
yeah.
You play Nintendogs in the corner on your lunch. It was great. And then you hit high school.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
walked in with so much confidence, being like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be friends with like absolutely everybody." I wasn't. Um, and then you meet some people, uh, and I had the what would be classed as like, and again as well, the kind of nerdy ones, like the let's sit at a library at lunch type vibe people. Uh, but I was friends with one or two people who kind of interacted with us who were classed as the quote unquote popular ones, but that's mainly because I went to
Yeah.
primary school with them, so they were like, okay, cool. Uh, I don't want to lose a friend, but I also have s- fucking cool friends now.
Hmm.
Which, in a sense, fair play. It's
Yeah.
your teenage years. You want to kind of that's all you really care about is popularity. But yeah, we were those type of people. We were the little library nerds who'd do this and that, and then yeah, I do have a fun little story which might
Ooh. Okay. Story time.
it well it kind of ties in with the next one. So
Okay.
if you want to move on to the next section, I will happily say
Yes. Story time. Let's do it.
okay. So bullying.
Ah, yeah.
uh, I not being the most popular people, bullying was always there. To be
Yeah.
fair, always is. I don't
Oh, yeah.
think there'll be anyone who's never went through it. If you haven't, congratulations, you were the bully. Um,
Yeah. No kidding.
like, but even the bullies get bullied in that. I think it's like a never-ending
Hmm.
cycle. Um, but somebody we both know, their
Mm.
friend, uh, who thought it was funny and didn't like me for no specific reason. I won't lie. Sometimes near the end of my school years, if I didn't like someone, it was very much known. Like, the, but I didn't like him. But since he was
Yeah.
friends with someone I classed as a friend at the time, I tried to be nice and kind of
Yeah.
vibe with. He fucking despised me. So there was one day he was quite obviously in a bad mood. He comes into the PE changing rooms, and since I was in the quote unquote same room as him, he decided to smash my head off of the brick wall that was in
Oh.
there, leaving me very, very much concussed. And yes, I had to go home, quite evidently.
Oh no.
But
Yeah.
I was in the same room as him, and he decided to smash my head off of a brick wall. So I don't know if yours is the same, but for us, after, well, S4, you can kind of leave. You don't have to do the last 2 years of high school.
How old would you be in S4?
Oh, 16?
Okay.
16, 17?
No, I think we're supposed to. I don't know, obviously, all the laws and legalities around it, but I think we're supposed to go through all the way to 18.
Okay,
Um, I'm not sure. I think you can drop out. I know more so in the US people do that, but I'm not quite sure in terms of Canada what is and isn't allowed.
fair. Well, yeah. So, fun fact for you and the viewers, I very much am a high school dropout. Not because I wanted to be. I wanted to be
Oh,
a little fucking nerd and go the whole way through and be like, sup fuckers, I got my hires. But then I
yeah.
tried to be friends with the ones that weren't the
Mm,
nicest in my last year, so I didn't get the grades I wanted. But
yeah.
also, after that whole wall situation, I didn't want to be in school, which
Yeah.
is fair enough.
Like
So
that's fair. Yeah.
I very much dropped out the first chance I got. Um, so yeah, I'm a little high school dropout, but uh, yeah. What about you? How was your wonderful little experience within high school
So
and all that?
mine it wasn't quite. I'd never got my head pushed or not pushed into a wall, but like slammed into a wall. That did not happen to me, thankfully. Um, However, I did definitely in my younger years. I got picked on. Um, until so you start kindergarten when you're 5, 6 years old, I believe.
Mm.
And so until from kindergarten until grade 3 to 4, I had a different bully every year, pretty much. Um, and at least I was a little younger, so it's not like I was in high school and being bullied, and those are like some of your most vulnerable years, I feel like, emotionally speaking. So I had some time to kind of recover from all the bullying, but um, in kindergarten, I got bit quite a few times by this one stupid kid. I'm gonna name drop his name. This kid
Oh,
named Owen. I have no
yeah.
clue.
Fuck
Like,
you, Owen.
yeah, fuck you, Owen. I was in the tent. I was minding my own business. I don't remember why I know this, or I don't know why I still remember this, but I was in the tent, minding my own business, having a great old time. I was playing with some toy, and Owen comes in the tent, and he just starts numbing on my arm. He just like takes a full bite of my arm, and I
What the?
don't know if he ever came back after that day. Um, but that's like the one vivid memory I have of him in kindergarten.
Did he
Um,
just not get fed or something that day? What?
I don't
It's
know.
like
Maybe he was just testing out a little bit of cannibalism, see how he felt about it. Who knows? Um, and then
that would be a
first
great
grade,
headline, by the way.
uh,
Spill the noodles about
it,
cannibalism.
yeah, no kidding. But in first grade, there was this other girl. I think she was having some trouble outside of school, and she kind of was taking that out on us. And because I was a small, shy little child, with my two friends. Um,
Dude.
oh, to clarify, so first grade,
Yeah.
um, it was actually a split class of first and second graders, and there were, I think, 7 first graders, and the entire rest of like the 28 people in the class, however many it was, were all second graders. So I didn't really know anybody in my class, and me being shy, I kind of just stuck to the 2 people that I had already made friends with in kindergarten.
Mhm.
um, and so she obviously caught on to that and the fact that I was shy and quiet and only had a couple friends. And she picked on me. I don't remember all what she did, but I think she stole my stickers, and I kind of like held a grudge. Because who steals somebody's stickers, you know?
Were they
That's
cool
fucked up.
stickers as well?
I think they were cool stickers. I was really, really into Spider Man, so they were most likely some of my Spider Man stickers that she took.
That's even
Uh,
worse.
I know. But the real kicker for me was the bully that I had in third grade, and she was just kind of a bully to everyone. Again, I think she also had some home issues going on, and she was kind of just taking it out on us.
Yeah.
So I met her. She went to a different school eventually, and I met her a couple years later, and she seemed nice enough. Like I don't really hold a grudge against her, but man, did she mess up my self. Like, I was so self-conscious and so self-aware for so many years after her, and it
Yeah.
was over like the smallest thing. I have, for all the viewers or listeners who have no clue what I look like, thank God for that. I have a birthmark right on my neck, and it's like right on the middle of my throat. Like, it's very obvious whenever I'm wearing a shirt. You can see it, and it's not like huge or anything, but it's there. It's noticeable. I'm a very pale skinned human being. You're gonna notice it eventually. But she decided to pick on me over that, and I, until like probably close to high school, like it stuck with me. But I had the hardest time wearing anything that would show it off because I constantly felt like everybody else was just staring at that
Yeah.
all the time. Um, so yeah, that really did me in for a while. But the funny thing was, I feel like this might kind of help us segue into our next kind of topic. Um, I could not for the life of me wear turtlenecks. I couldn't do it. Um, and it's not because of how they looked. Did not care about that. I just wanted something to cover my neck, but I couldn't wear them because anytime that I had something around my neck, even if it was really loose, if I could feel it touching my neck, I would gag and I would throw up if I didn't get it off of my neck.
Valid though.
Yeah, I now at least like I can I have my hands on my neck just kind of chill in there. Like now I can deal with that and I still feel like ever so slightly nauseous, but it's
Mm.
like a very tolerable amount now. But as a child, I could not deal with that. Um but that's a good segue into our next kind of topic, which has to do with neurodivergence and
Heck yeah.
everything that comes along with it.
So I have a fun story about me getting diagnosed. Well, it's not fun, but I've got a fun story about how I was diagnosed with uh autism. For y'all who
Uh,
don't know.
Yeah. For everybody who doesn't know us, Jamie has autism. I for sure have ADHD. We haven't gone to see a psychiatrist to get like a full analysis done. There may be a touch of autism in there as well, but that's not something that I'm gonna figure out for a while.
For a while. Um, yeah, so I won't get into the full story because there might be a point of where we end up having similar as like a segment that I would talk about it on there. But
Okay, yeah.
long story short, for anyone who is listening and doesn't know, I was in a very abusive relationship for 2 years. And basically, I went to like the big mental health place, the one that's basically like you're fucked in the head, you're staying here for the rest of your life type vibe. That one.
Oh, okay. Fun
Um,
times.
and cause something like that fucks you up, man.
Yeah.
Um, and I was there, and I just couldn't look the man in the eye because I fucking hate eye contact. It freaks me out. So he basically pulled my parents. I only found this out, by the way, after I got taken to the doctors to get tested that this happened. But apparently, he pulled them aside and basically went, "I'd get him checked. He's fucking autistic." Obviously, I didn't say it like that, but
Yeah.
and then we went home. Was not sectioned. Praise be. Because I'm cool. No, but yeah, I we went home. It was a very stressful 2 years. But when I was 18, we decided, yeah, fuck it. Well, because it was either right at the end of the relationship or when it was about to end. Um,
Okay.
so I was 18 and we followed the man's advice. Like, I want to say the week after. And we basically went ahead, we went to the doctors near us and was like, look, this man said he's a little bit special boy in the head. So can we get a little check? And I did their little quiz. It was fun with tick boxes and that. Apparently we ticked too many
Ooh.
because she came out and went, I'm not even kidding. This is the doctor's exact words. She came out and went, so I can tell you now without having to really do much more research. Jimmy, you scored very, very highly on the uh, autism questionnaire. I've never seen someone score this high, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So
Oh no.
I'm a record-winning autistic, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I don't know the,
Oh.
but yeah, that is basically how I was diagnosed and found out. Went from being really depressed to basically getting told I'm really cool and special. It was
A good turnaround. Yeah. Oh.
how about you? Were you as late? of a diagnosis as me, or were you?
I think I might actually have you beat in terms of
Ooh,
lateness. I guess it's been slightly more than a year now that I've officially been diagnosed with ADHD. Like it's still new, in
mm,
a sense that like I actually understand what's wrong with me now, or maybe what's right with me. Different
exactly.
perspective. Um, but yeah, I uh, basically started looking into it when my current boyfriend he had first kind of met me and started to get to know me. And he was like, "So, do you have ADHD?" I was like, "No, I don't think so."
What's
And
that?
he was like, maybe you should consider looking into it a little bit because my grandma works at a special school for special people, and you kind of match
You
a lot
tick
of the
them
things
boxes.
that yeah, you took in a couple boxes. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh my god, I'm special.
So yeah, I so I did a lot of research on my own actually, because something that's I think it's slowly becoming more common knowledge now, is that especially ADHD in women, it presents very differently. So even as a child, you get taught a lot quicker how to mask everything.
Mm,
Um, and so even if you have the hyperactive ADHD, it kind of presents all of it kind of just presents as inattentive. It's more likely for women to present as inattentive ADHD.
mm.
Um, and knowing that now and being able to and I'm sure you feel the same way about things too, but knowing what I know now about myself and looking back on all of my childhood experiences and the stories and everything that I've been through, it's kind of like, oh, you know, I guess it really wasn't that hard to figure out.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
yeah, like basically I've spent this past year kind of I wrote a couple papers for university, um, because it just kind of fit really well, and so I've been learning a lot more about everything to do with ADHD, and then specifically women with ADHD and what that kind of looks like compared to men with ADHD. And I have learned a lot about myself and why I, for example, can never make myself do anything until I have a crushingly stressful deadline.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like, oh, I I can actually do this now because it's 2 days away and it's 10 pages worth of writing that I have to do, and I have to do research too. Um, but uh yeah, so before I launch into my own stories, I'll give you a chance to kind of share some of yours. What in your childhood, now that you're able to look back, knowing everything that you do, are there any situations, stories, experiences that kind of stick out to you as oh, maybe that was a sign that there was something more going on, and I wasn't just a quirky little child.
Oh, I have so many. Like, I'd say the biggest ones were obviously not being able to sit still and just kind of
Yeah,
jumping about. But um, the other biggest one was it didn't matter kind of where I was or what kind of chair I was on. I had to sit upside down on it. So my legs were like over the top of the chair and my back was where you were meant
interesting.
to sit. And I found
Oh,
that comfy.
okay, so sidebar here now, because I'm curious. Did you guys in school ever have a couple of those special chairs or special cushions or things that they would if there was a really rowdy or hyperactive kid in the class, they would give it to them to sit on to help, quote unquote, help them. I don't know, it actually helped, but um, did
We
you guys have anything like that?
we did, but it was only for people that like were in a sense, like really, really high up on the scale, like
Oh,
kind
okay.
of teetering over the edge type vibes. Like
Yeah.
you could be kind of well, I'll use us. You could be like where we are roughly, and they'd just go, "Oh yeah, they're normal. They don't need it." Um, and it'd be like, "Okay, cool." I wanted a fucking pillow. Those chairs were not comfy, man. And
Yeah.
see when you're on science, those shitty ass fucking stools, when you get like a bolt sticking up your arse, was the most uncomfortable shit possible.
uh,
See having that up,
yeah.
like trying to go up there whilst you're trying to like light a Bunsen burner. It's a bit.
I gotta say, our stools for science class, they're actually quite comfy. They had backs on them, and they were really
Oh,
tall, and I really, really loved leaning back on them. I don't know how I didn't fall and kill myself at some point. It really should have happened, considering me, who I am as a person, and how unfortunately clumsy I am. But I didn't, and it was a lot of fun. And I would never forget those chairs, and I miss them every single day.
one of these
Okay,
days when
anyway,
you're rich and famous, you're gonna go back to your school and go,
I
five
yeah,
grand, give me that chair.
no, for real though. They were lovely chairs. If
And
they had had like a little cushion on them, they would have been the best chairs in the world, truly and honestly.
oh, to be fair, they
Which
sound
I know
good.
is, ugh.
We didn't have a single back or anything. We had,
Hmm.
in a weird sense, you know, like the walkers people have, like the older
The ones
generation
that
can
have like
have.
the
Like
seats on them.
no, literally just the like metal kind of uh chases to kind of help people walk type thing.
Is it? Hold on, because I'm thinking of like five different types right now. Is it
Okay,
kind of like the grandpa from Up's
yeah,
walker?
in a sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, actually, that kind of helps. Picture that with a wooden plank in the middle of it, type vibe, yeah, with
Okay.
it just fucking bolted directly into the metal chases. That's exactly how our
Oh,
seats were.
okay.
So
Yeah.
that hurt.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't be very comfy. Apart from those science chairs, we just had like the typical ones. I don't know if they've ever popped up on your TikTok. I think they might once again be more of like an North American thing.
Mm.
Um, but they're the very like stereotypical school chairs that have like the two metal bolts on the backing of the chair, and then your hair would get caught in them all the time, and it would yank your hair. Though you might not also have ever experienced that because you've got short hair. But those chairs, bane of my existence.
I, I I have never had that, but I have been told about it.
Awful,
Also,
awful experience.
this kind of okay. I found a nicer looking stool than what we had, but
Okay.
it's basically the same equivalent, right? So I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
chuck it into our little article things.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me
Picture
see.
picture this,
Oh,
but with
okay.
4 bolts in it going directly into the.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's not
exactly what
great.
ours were. They were very, very painful. Um, but hey, they worked. I sat down.
Yeah,
I lit my Bunsen
that's
burners.
true.
I made shit go boom. Like I did. That sounded horrendous. I've never blown anything up in my classroom. I promise you.
Pinky
Um,
swear.
a pinky swear,
Not that
please.
anybody can prove anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I would never do that, and no one can prove it, so it's fine. Um, but no, they were uncomfy as hell. So yeah, sorry. What is kind of
I feel like our entire tangent on chairs is like such a great example in itself of how Neither of us are very normal, neurotypical people. I don't want to say the word normal, but neurotypical, because I don't know how long that was. It probably wasn't as long as like it might have felt. But we just went on a whole rant about chairs, and I know that I could have gone on so much longer about them as well.
Oh no, same. I could
So many
carry
opinions
on.
about chairs.
I've got so many fucking opinions on chairs,
Oh,
and I'm carrying it on. The fucking blue fuckers, right? The little like, oh, they were horrendous. It was literally just a blue bitty plastic with a little like,
okay.
uh, in a sense, like lip in it because your legs were meant to go either side of it. That shit was not comfy as hell. And again, it's just chucked on some metal. It was not comfy.
I'm
Um,
gonna need you to find me a picture of that one as well. I'm
uh,
having a
I'll be
hard
back.
time visualizing this one. Yeah, I need to. But while you're looking for that, I need to go on a little bit of a chair rant myself.
Mhm.
Um, I've been moving around a lot, and so I currently don't really own any sort of furniture. I just keep moving to places that are already furnished because it's just easier for me.
Yeah.
Um, every single desk chair that I have had has sucked so much. And because of how I sit, because I'm a silly little human being who can't just sit like a normal person, um, it has gotten to the point where my tailbone just kind of is constantly bruised because I have really hard chairs and I sit back so much that like it permanently hurts now
Oh
because I
no.
just can't sit normal, and all of my chairs are awful conditions.
Oh,
Oh,
oh my god. To be fair, my chair's not. It used to be very comfy, but I've had it now for a couple of years, so it kind of just now digs into like the wood that's under the cushion here,
yeah.
and it's not comfy. So that might be my next upgrade. To be fair, I
Okay,
want it
I know. I've seen the chair. I know the chair you're talking about.
right.
To be honest, though, those for me, because we didn't really have those were like the special chairs. Those were the fun chairs. That was the cool kid chair to get, and it was
Uh,
because it was just like compared to our normal one, because of those curves, at least when I was sitting in it, it felt just a little bit comfier than the regular
yeah.
ones, and it also doesn't have those metal circles on the back that rip my hair out. So that was always a nice fun
To be
bonus as
fair,
well.
this isn't the exact one we had, but
Okay.
we did have the little like not all of them. Some of them had the little metal bolts on the back, but almost every single chair, because no one can look after school property, had
Yeah.
the top bit snapped as well. So you'd catch
Oh.
it, you catch like your skin on
Oh.
that, and it's like,
Oh my god. Yes.
I'm so glad
Ours
that
were
we could
definitely
agree.
in better condition. But we had a couple that were like that, and the scratches that I got off of that were crazy. Absolutely illegal for a plastic chair to be giving me those kinds of cuts.
Exactly. Or I'm now I'm just ranting on back at school. I'm going back to the first segment. Um, but you'd have the little people who had like a string or something, and then they'd just start sawing the fucking chair
Oh,
with the
oh my god,
string.
yes. 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 I held a small grudge, and I hated it because like some of my friends would do it thinking they were cool, and so like I couldn't be totally mad at them. Um, but like absolutely hated when people do that because I knew that it would always result in the half torn chairs that now cut you.
Yeah.
Um, okay, also we're gonna go back to the first subject for another second here too. Um, oh no, we're not, because I've totally forgotten what I was gonna say. Dang it, never mind. Ignore me.
Ooh.
Let's go back to more stories still kind of related to school. Um, one that I have remembered, and this is probably, in my opinion, it's probably one of like the most basic kind of obvious moments, and it by itself obviously wouldn't be an indicator of ADHD, because like I think we all had those times in class where we would doodle on our paper when we got bored. Um, every single piece of schoolwork that I have, I don't remember what grade this would have started in. It might just be like the entirety of my school existence.
Mhm.
Every single one of them has at least one doodle on them, one drawing, one scribble, one something. If I had highlighters, RIP my papers. They were just going to be covered in various neon colors. Um,
100%.
and then on top of that, if I got in trouble for doodling, I would then turn to my trusty old friend of, I think it's called dissociative daydreaming, something like that. I don't
Mm,
quite remember what it's called. But
yeah.
basically, I would just start making up stories in my head, and they would play in my head like little movies. And that was how I would spend a lot of time in school, out of school. Some days I would just kind of like lay down in my bed. You know, I was a book person too. So there were times where I would go and read my books. So sometimes I would get bored of my books and I'd just lay down and I'd start making up my stories in my head like little movies, and I would entertain myself for hours like that. Absolute
Oh, heck yeah.
hours. Hell yeah. It's a
I,
good
I
time.
I still remember. Sorry, this just came into my head after you said about the highlighters. There was one time in college, right? We
Oh
were
yeah.
doing basically nothing because I'd finished what I was meant to do, and it was like, oh, just study for some other stuff then. And
Okay, yeah.
obviously, I was like, nah, it's fine. I'll do it later.
Mm.
Um, so I drew this absolutely amazing thing. Right, it was a UFO, but
Ooh.
everything was black and white until you were in the UFO's like tractor beam thing.
Oh, okay.
And then it was all colored in like a cool landscape and highlighter.
That's awesome.
It was so sick. I've got a photo somewhere, so I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't take a picture of the doodles from elementary school because they were quite awful. Um, but by the time that I'd hit high school, I definitely, not by any means was I a professional at drawing. Dear God, no. But I was kind of proud of some of the ones that I did. I was doodling during work as well. I was a greeter and a ticket taker at a cinema,
mhm.
so we'd have a lot of down periods in between shows because they'd all kind of all start at once and they'd all kind of end at once too. So I had ups and downs for when I was busy, and those not busy stretches were really boring because I kind of just had to stand at my podium and do nothing.
Yeah.
So I started bringing sketchbooks, or not sketchbooks, but I'd bring little itty bitty notepads that I could fit in my pocket, and I'd load up some pictures on my Apple Watch. I'd just gotten it for my birthday. It was a very exciting year, um, and I doodled, and I was really into skulls. So there's a lot of
Heck yeah.
pictures of skulls crying, broken skulls, skulls with snakes coming out of them. I was also really big on floating islands, and I did a couple like outer space kind of drawings as well. Um, Good time though. They weren't bad, honestly. I'm kind of proud of them. I'll see if I can find. I know I have at least two pictures. And then being the Lord of the Rings nerd that I am, I also spent a day in science class drawing the, I don't remember the official name, but the tower that Sauron's eye sits in.
Yeah.
Uh, so I drew that during science class one day, and the person sat beside me was like, "Yo, that was really cool. You should take a picture." I was like, "Oh, okay." I actually kind of like it. I'm glad that they told me to take a picture.
Heck yeah. I ruin your day a
Oh,
little
go
bit.
for it. Yeah,
And
100%.
this could be very sad for majority of our nerdy viewers and you, considering we're both nerds. Are you ready?
I feel like I know where this is about to go, but go for it.
No, okay, where do you think this is going?
I think you're about to say that you either don't really care for Hobbit slash Lord of the Rings or you've never seen it.
I have never seen The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. No.
Oh, good series. Um, I really, okay, so in terms of like which I kind of prefer,
Mm,
I have a bit of an emotional connection towards the Hobbit story, because it was kind of like, excluding like Harry Potter, it was kind of one of the first big stories, like big real stories that I'd ever read, and it was definitely one of the more complex ones at the time. Um, and I'd also been given an audiobook of the whole Hobbit the whole Hobbit book. So I have a little bit of an emotional connection to that one. Um, but I think the Lord of the Rings movies, personally, I think they're better than the Hobbit in term. Even though pretty sure they're older, if I remember correct. Um, but I think better, honestly. Um, but they're both really good. I would recommend definitely sitting down at some point watching both of them.
I will. To be fair, I've always wanted to, but I know how long they are, and
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's kind of what
have time.
scares everybody.
I as much as it scares me in general, I just can't kind of justify that time at the moment.
Yeah.
So like it's a bit of a pain because I'll
Hmm.
admit before when I did have the time, it was just seeing how long it was scared the living hell out of me.
Oh yeah,
But
it's definitely like a commitment in terms of time, and like you don't obviously have to watch it all at once. But I
mm,
feel like whenever you start it, you kind of want to, because especially with Lord of the Rings, or no, I guess Hobbit too, because the Hobbit movies are three, two, I don't remember. Um, but might be two. Anyway, you kind of want to watch them all at once, right? Because they're like three parts of the same story that keeps going. And obviously, if
yeah,
you break too long between each movie, you're kind of gonna start forgetting what all was happening, um, which kind of disrupts the flow of the story and your understanding.
100%.
Um, but yeah, you should definitely. I would recommend once you do have the time to kind of sit down and watch it. Good shit.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
to go off of my little mention of audiobooks though, and to kind of bring us back on track to neurodivergence and experiences, a big thing, and I like totally forgot about this until right now, that should have been like a red flag that perhaps I was not a normal child, was the fact that and I feel like you might also, based on other people, you might also have had a similar experience. I can't go to sleep without some sort of like background noise.
See, I'll admit I used to be the exact same, but now
Oh,
I I'm not a fan of background noise.
interesting.
Although
Okay.
I do like, and I'm really upset because mine broke. Okay, we don't speak about it because it's a really difficult subject. I really love having, in a sense, the feel of someone being there. So
Mm.
um, I loved my weighted blanket. I picked it up one day, but it was like a weighted blanket, but it was filled with like sand or something.
Oh, okay.
To kind of imitate the heaviness feel, kind of you get the whole vibe of it, all that
Yeah.
jazz. I picked it up one day and it started pissing sand all over the floor, and I was like,
No.
well, my autism sensory thing, it just set off my actual autism sensory because now I've got to clean
Oh
this
yeah.
up, and if this touches my toes, I am going to cry.
Yeah.
Um,
um
yeah, no, that was absolutely ridiculous. But to go off topic again, it's just because we're running out of time quite heavily. I think we spent a good half an hour on speaking about chairs, so we're sorry about that. But do you have any more fun little stories for us, or
okay. I definitely have one little, it's like a nice short story. Um I like to refer to it as my alphabet story. Now,
ooh,
I, as a child, was a very very lovely little imaginative child who kind of just spent all of my time playing either by myself or dressing up my poor lovely puppy Clover. R.I.P. Clover. She passed away not a long time ago, but like probably a good 8 years, something
I
like that.
remember like a
Um,
solid 8 seconds ago. It's been so long.
be so fucked up. Um, but uh, on the topic of me being kind of a weird little child, And this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, maybe there might be a smidge of autism involved in me as well,
Mhm.
because I was given a task for kindergarten, and I remember this so well because this truly stressed me out beyond belief. All we had to do, this was the task: write the alphabet backwards. That was it. That was all we had to do.
That's difficult as fuck.
That was my thinking. And you want to know why? Because when I read that, my first instinct, my first thought was not just simply that we had to do it Z to A, but that I
Mhm.
had to write every single letter flipped, like backwards. So
Oh,
the Z
okay.
had to be flipped, like you understand. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was it was bad, and I started crying so hard because I don't remember which letter it was. Um, I feel like it was A. Like I feel like I got all the way through to A, and I just could not, for the life of me, flip A around, and I was just bawling my eyes out because it was just too hard. I couldn't do it, and um and my mom, I think it was my mom anyway, it might have been my grandma, eventually comes over and they're like, "What the fuck's going on over here? Why are you losing your absolute shit on this school paper? Like it's not supposed to be that hard."
Mhm.
And, and then they see what I'm doing and they're like, "Dude, that's not
That's not
that's
what they
not
meant, man.
not what they want."
Oh,
And so then I just remembered the moment that they explained to me, I just had to write it Z to A, and I did not, in fact, have to flip all of the letters. The relief that I felt in that moment, and like erasing the letters and just doing it normally, best feeling in the world. I was like, oh, I can do that. That's so easy. But I've definitely had that issue, and especially with I'm not sure if you also struggled with math, but like whenever it came to math and any sort of word problem that we had, I could never ever wrap my head around it and actually like understand what they were asking me.
oh no, I had no
Never.
idea. It could be like Jack had two oranges and gave Sally one. Who the fuck's Jack and Sally? Like,
Right?
what are
I
their
would get
involvement?
so caught in those details.
Exactly. How did they
Yeah.
acquire the oranges? Why is he giving one away? Like, what's like?
What the
There's
fuck's up with Jack? Why is he doing that? Is the orange poisoned? What's his motive? Why is he giving one to Sally? Does Sally
exactly,
even want the orange? Does she ask for the orange? Is he being forced to give her the orange? And then you just kind of completely go off track, and suddenly, it's not about the oranges anymore.
exactly. And then you completely go off track, and it's like, oh, that's a lovely acorn on that tree.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. And then you start wondering if Jack and Sally would enjoy the acorn too. And then, maybe you'd like the orange from Jack. Why didn't Jack give you the orange? You love oranges.
Exactly. I
I
wonder if
just
there's
really
an
wanted
orange tree
orange.
nearby, like that type
Yeah.
vibe. Um. So yeah, I don't have many fun stories to be honest with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but no, I agree. See, if someone told me to write the alphabet backwards, I would think I would probably do the exact same thing. But see, just the thought of writing the alphabet backwards in itself, no, no,
Yeah. I
like,
feel like I've spent a lot of time teaching myself to not misunderstand things and like what people mean.
mm,
Um, and I feel like that's maybe why I'm able to deal with social situations a lot better now, because I've learned a lot of the patterns, and when people say that, okay, that's what they want from me, and if I don't know what they want from me, then I've kind of just I've accepted that I'm just gonna have to ask them, even if it's kind of a weird question, because it's better. I feel like it's better for me to just ask, okay, what do you want from me in this situation? Because I am confused and I don't understand, and I just need you to explain in different terms what you want from me.
100%. Like earlier today, which also leads me on to our next point as well. I had a little business thing that I had to do, and they were basically explaining like, well, they said something about flyers or something, And
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. I replied back, bearing in mind I had to try to be professional, but luckily enough, this was my
Mhm.
friend. I went, after I read it again, after he explained it, it made so much sense. But I genuinely turned around to him and went, right, can you say that again to me, but like I'm five? And then
Yes.
he completely reworded it into as if I was five, and I completely understood what he was talking about. Like
Yeah.
it,
Like I had my boss ask me, and this is what she meant. She was trying to ask me if I could share my screen to the TV when our like kind of big boss was going to do some Q&A with a bunch of different groups below us. And all she wanted me to do was to join the call and then share my screen to the big TV for everybody that was going to be in the common area to watch this.
mm,
Um, but I don't remember how she worded it, but it was kind of like, can you can your laptop, do you know how to connect it? Can you connect to the TV when Adam does his thing? I don't know. It was something like that, but like worded in such a way that I was just like, I don't understand what it is that you want from me, and I'm really stressed out because I know that this is like something important that you're trying to ask me. It has to do with our big boss,
yeah,
and I don't know what you want from me. And so I feel bad because I hope this didn't come across as me being like unprofessional, maybe in a sense, but I pretty much said that, but like slightly better. I was like, I don't quite understand. Would you be able to explain what it is that you're asking me? Because I don't quite understand what you need. I feel like it was something like that, and it did not sound great. But I needed her to break down what she was trying to ask me, because I was just kind of giving her what I think people have begun referring to as the Gen Z stare,
yeah,
because I just didn't understand what she wanted from me. And I was trying to process it before having to ask her so that I didn't have to ask. It just didn't happen.
yeah. Well, I can't remember when it was. It wasn't that long ago. Which, yeah. But my boss, before I carry on, for anyone who doesn't know my actual job, I am a chef. He asked me to get something very simple. It was like 2 bags of chips or something like that. I don't know why. My brain completely shut down and I completely forgot what like a bag of chips was. And I
Yeah.
genuinely turned around and went, yeah, no worries. I went through and came back with like fucking chicken goujons or some shit. And he was like, "Y- I asked for chips. And I went, ah. I went, do you want these anyway though? And he went, no, we've got like 3 bags in here. And I was like, oh,
Oh
okay.
no.
So I went, took them back, and I was like, oh, fuck. I genuinely stood in the cellar for like 2 minutes just contemplating if I should get them or if I should just leave. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, yeah, back into the segue I was getting into. This podcast as well is also actually sponsored for this one. Would you like to explain this one?
So a good segue into this. Oh, uh, no.
Yeah, yeah. I'm keeping this in. This is a great segment into the sponsor.
Oh, the reason that that's a good segue is because we are sponsored by the lovely, amazing company NTTP. And NTTP stands for negative turns to positive.
Yes.
Um, and it's a clothing company that's all about spreading positivity and mental health awareness, and just trying to bring some positivity into what kind of feels like a very negative world that we're kind of dealing with everything going on. Um and so great segue.
Yeah.
NTTP, shout out to them. Go check out their stuff. It's pretty cool.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
definitely eyeing up some of the book nerd things.
Amazing. Yeah, they donate 10% of profit to each charity each month as well, which I think is pretty sick because want to try and, get more funding and help because it's a very unrealistic touched area in a sense, because
Oh yeah.
people kind of just brush over it and just go, "Oh, it's all in your head" type vibe. Where
Yeah,
it
and it is kind of in our head, but also it's not like it's just made up, and it's not like people are
mm,
just lazy as some of the older generations might say. But you know, it's like you said, it's an underfunded area that still could use our help, and it's still something that a lot of people don't fully acknowledge or recognize. And NTTP is trying to bring awareness and help out just a little bit in our super funky world.
heck yeah. So, with that being said, we are actually very much over our time. So,
Whoops.
shall we? It's because we spent half an hour speaking about chairs.
Yeah, it's the chairs.
As much as I already had a title for this one, I'm very tempted to just name it "Spilling the Noodles by Chairs."
I
and
honestly, it would fit considering how much of this was spent talking about chairs. Um, I was trying to find a way to sign off that was linked to chairs, and the most I could think of was sit on that like button, and
yeah, man,
hopefully it won't be back soon. It just doesn't work.
that's not where I would have went with it. I was going to go with like sit down and just prepare for next week, so it's going to be probably so much more intriguing. But if you want to sit on that like button, you can sit where you
Yeah,
want, Eilish.
sit on that like button a couple times, multiple times, as many times as your heart would desire. Um,
Exactly. Sit on that 5-star button as well. Get
Hell
us
yeah.
get us up there. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. If
Yeah.
that is with
Sit on
you,
that like button. See us soon.
goodbye.
Bye.